This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network, where listeners and podcasters come together. Find out more at blueberrywithnoease.com.
The Eat Sleep Right podcast is brought to you by generous grant from the Built on Dreams Media Network, with additional funding by the Sims Media Foundation, and from the generosity of listeners like you.
Stand by, please. Rolling on 6. On set.
Welcome to another edition of Voices of the Writers, a reading of stories, poetry, or vignettes on Eat Sleep Right. Put on your headphones and escape the world for a few minutes. Get closer to the poetry, vignettes, and stories on the go, during a break at work, or while you're exercising or jogging. The Eat Sleep Right podcast is also brought to you by the generous cooperation of the Writers World Facebook group. Join Writers World on Facebook, a solicitation-free group for writers of fiction, nonfiction, and poetry, a writing group that concentrates on critiques of posted material. I Saw You Today by Belinda Kinnery, read by Adam Scull. I saw you today, your eyes as hungry as your stomachs. You have beautiful faces, in spite of the pain in your hearts. Static follows you. In just 1 hour, over 200 more of you will be orphaned by the deadly virus which claims 1 of 5 adults in your country. I saw your mother, dying in the hospital bed. No medication to treat her illness, no hope for a miracle. She's only 29, another victim, waiting to die. I saw your feet. They've never worn shoes, never touched the floor of a gymnasium. The paths they tread lead to tiny shacks, lined with cardboard for insulation. We learned from Animal Planet that your native land has beautiful wildlife. We learned from our geography teacher that your capital is Pretoria. You learned from your doctors that an entire generation is being wiped out by AIDS. From your neighbors you learn to feel shame because one of your own is infected. We buy our children Happy Meals. We take them to the zoo. We squeeze them tight when they skin their knees, and we fret over their fevers and snifflings. Their little toes have shoes with blinking lights. Their feet skip and hop alongside ours, going home to security and warmth. I saw your face when strangers brought you food. Tears streamed from your eyes when you opened a gift addressed to you. Somebody gently laced up a new pair of shoes on your feet, gave you some beautiful clothes to wear, offered open arms for a hug. You took your new things home to your little huts. I saw your faces as they reflected back the kindness of today. It's something you'll never forget, even though tomorrow's promise is no better than yesterday's. No child should ever have to live the way you do. How many more of you are there? If you're looking for a community that offers tools, support, and advice to start your own adventures in writing, then prepare to have the cauldron of your imagination stirred. I started the Eat Sleep Right podcast so more people could understand what it's like to be a writer. My goal is to help writers, poets, and authors achieve the success they so richly deserve. I salute their success in writing.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Eat Sleep Right podcast, located at eatsleepright.net. Please send any questions, comments, or suggestions to comments@eatsleepright.net. Please consider a donation to support the Eat Sleep Right podcast. Donations can be sent to our PayPal address at donations@eatsleepright.net. Once in a lifetime, the theme music for the Eat Sleep Right podcast. courtesy of Stephen Paul. All rights reserved. Used by permission. Please join us again for the next edition of the Eat Sleep Right podcast.